Welcome to the Norm Hyperbolic Podcast. We're here to talk anime, video games, and movies. I am your host, X, also known as Young Morgan Freeman. And with me, as always, is my co-host, Kid Lewis.
What's up? It's your boy, Kid Lewis. Welcome back. Welcome back. As you can see, we are well dressed today in our white shirts and black ties.
But if you're on the podcast, you wouldn't be able to see. So
well, that's why I'm kind of describing it a little bit.
You gotta take our word for it.
So today's episode, as we have mentioned at the end of the last episode, we are diving into the world of Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man, bro.
Yes. So this is one of those animes that I don't think, would you say a lot of people know about this anime? Like if you
I think so.
it?
I mentioned it, and we even just talked to my brother about it. So he's seen it. He got it through osmosis. But as far as like in the anime community, I think for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's crossed over into mainstream, but
no, I don't think it's like everybody's top 5 or 10, maybe close to 10. But it is one of those like good animes that I feel like needs more recognition,
Yeah, no, for sure. And then that's what we're going to be doing today in our Chainsaw Man episodes. I've been looking forward to this episode for a little bit.
No, for sure. So we're trying to dress for the part, you know what I mean? And we got some Christmas hats because,
it's the Christmas time.
It's Christmas time. You gotta feel the Christmas festival. You gotta feel the spirit of Santa Claus, which they have a character named Santa Claus.
Oh, they do.
Yeah,
they do. Damn.
I just remember that it hit me. I was like, there is a Santa Claus in Chainsaw. Wow. Man. So
very, very festive time.
Very festive time. Oh, and if you guys are listening to this during Christmas time, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's.
Happy Kwanzaa. Merry Hanukkah.
Yep. All those special holidays and religions. But definitely Merry Christmas. I hope you guys are having a great time with your family, receiving gifts, giving gifts, especially with your loved ones. And definitely thank you for joining us and listening to this episode on Chainsaw Man. Yeah,
this might be our last episode for the year. As far as the podcast, maybe we might do another one in between, but I don't know if that one will release in time for the end of the year.
Yeah. So this might be the episode for this, but we definitely got other content coming along the way that doesn't have to pertain to the podcast. We still have the gaming that's scheduled sometime in the middle of this month. And a couple of reviews for a couple of movies are coming out to the movie theaters, such as what was that movie called?
The Godzilla. We have Godzilla -1. There's Boy and the Heron.
Yeah,
that one's coming out. So we have an episode on that. I think that one might. That's what I'm saying. I think that one's going to come out in January. But either way, so in this episode, we're going to be talking about Chainsaw Man. Just going through a deep dive of the show, the production, and just in our usual fashion. For the news, I have tweets by one of the executives for Jujutsu Kaisen about the anime industry.
Ooh, bro, that anime. I have been posting that anime on our IG account like crazy.
Yeah, that's your anime, bro.
That anime is literally legit, like getting close to my top number 1. Definitely top 5 right now on my list. Like it's so crazy good. Like just it's well written, the action, and just Mappa, man. They are cooking over there. I know with the whole, controversial stuff with the writers and the illustrators and the animators over there and how they're being overworked, but at the end of the day, like they are doing a phenomenal job at making this anime, and just every episode is like a banger after a banger after a banger, and you're just like, whoa, like how are they dropping such quality episodes week after week after week? And then there was rumors about it being delayed, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna be delayed anytime soon. They seem to constantly kind of like stay on that schedule of getting it out, when they're supposed to, but maybe there might be some contradiction on season 3.
We'll see.
Only time will tell. But man, go ahead.
D&D has a game that's coming out, and the IMDb top 10 movies and shows got released. So since we're at the end of the year, I thought we could do some of that. So if you're watching this on YouTube, leave us a like, subscribe. We're dressed as Chainsaw Man characters. Come on,
man. We just got off the shift.
If you're listening
fighting
to this,
fucking demons,
devils, they're
devils of fighting devils.
If you're listening to this on your podcast platform of choice, remember to leave us 5-star reviews on Spotify. Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts, and then we'll be reading them out on the podcast. And then whatever you can do on Google Podcasts. But do the usual stuff. So first, let's go ahead and get into last week's news today.
Let us know, X. Let us know.
So first, in the realm of anime. So like I was talking about, Jujutsu Kaisen executive Terumi Nishii took to Twitter to share his opinions of Japan's anime industry and its future. So like we've teased before, we are going to do an episode on
the
studio houses in Japan and how like anime gets adapted. So I've already been doing a little bit of research now, but I want to get more involved in it, or give a good deep dive before we talk about it like how we would on an episode.
No, for sure.
So, but this executive, he writes on Twitter. So he wrote it in Japanese, so they had to translate it. So this is like, rough translation. He writes, "Seriously, it's over." Talking about the industry. Once Kagawa's generation leaves, and he was like this, not philanthropist, but he was like this big prominent guy in Japan. So once his generation leaves, everything will end at once. We need to do something about training courses by then. Animation studios can't handle the nurturing of new personnel. This is because the ones who have been nurturing animators up until now are all freelance animators. It's impossible for clueless companies that only understand numbers.
Break that down, man, because it sounded like very complex. Like,
yeah. So taking it from the beginning. So once Kagawa's generation leaves, so this guy died he was born in 1888.
So these are like the old head animators,
right? So what he's talking about, once they leave, talking about
like the new generation coming in. That's what I'm trying to like. That's what I thought I was getting from that. Like, like he's saying like, hey, once these old head animators that are used to working these hours, that are used to being under that pressure.
No, not even that. So, okay, what he's talking about is that most of Japan's anime, like the scene.
Okay.
And this is just a teaser, I guess. They're freelance, which means there is no unionization. There's no like minimum wage for animators.
Okay.
So they set their own prices, and it's a negotiation between the studios
and the animators. Okay.
So he's saying, and he's a seasoned animator. He's like a veteran or whatever, that the only people that are nurturing the growth of these new up and coming animators are other animators, because the people at the top are still freelance. These companies that are like trying to have like a team, like how are you talking about the team that MAPPA has with their animators, they're not really nurturing the new up and comers like these other people who are in the game. What they're doing is they're looking at numbers. And I even have something. The reason I brought this up, to be honest, was because it kind of goes in with what's going on with Chainsaw Man with like the next season 2, and like the future of Chainsaw Man. He write the last thing that he wrote. It's impossible for clueless companies that only understand numbers. And when you're in business, that you live off the numbers. Numbers don't lie. But numbers also don't paint the full picture of what's going on. Things can multiply if you give it enough. Like if you put how do you make any money off of free content? You get the buzz out, and then you charge something, and then that's when people will buy part 2 or whatever. Certain things that there's risks that you have to take with all that. But basically, what he's talking about is that there needs to be more artists in these businesses rather than how it's
business
been.
People.
Yeah. Business people are taking over Japan's anime industry now.
No, that's true, because it is a growing industry. So there is a lot of potential when it comes to money wise. I can see that. But I mean, you still need both. You still need somebody in the background managing the business to bring in the money. But like you said, like in the end of the day, like numbers don't paint the full picture. Just because the company is doing very profitable doesn't mean that the company itself, like the internal of the company, is doing great. I see this all the time, with different companies, even hospitals. Like, I see like these corporations, they look at everything as numbers. Like, okay, are we profiting this quarter? Are we meeting the quota? Are we exceeding? But in the internal, like, how are our employees doing? Are they being well treated? Are they, because I always believe firmly, like if you treat your employees right, they're going to be there for the long run. And if you constantly have employees like quitting from left to right, or you're firing employees from left to right because they can't meet up with your quota, they can't meet up with whatever standards you had set, then it takes more money to then rehire more people. And then what if you're working on a big project that could potentially be bringing that company a lot of money, and they end up losing on that money because they lose out on employees, or employees walk out. And I thought from that quote, I thought it was more saying like, you know, old heads, animators, or people that have been in that industry for such a long time, you know, they're used to like that, being under that pressure because of that mentality that they grew up with. Like, I know in Japan, you know, they're very culture when it comes to working and like working hard and, you know, putting in the time at their job and moving up in ranks and promotions, like, you know, stuff like that. Like, they're very big when it comes into that. So if that means them staying like an extra couple of more hours after work and knowing that they're not getting paid just so that they can stand out in their workplace, that's something that is very looked up upon. But I'm also thinking about like this new generation of animators that maybe don't want to, like, they know a little bit more of their self-worth and they're not willing to just be like, well, I'm not going to stay and work extra couple of more hours if I'm not going to get paid. Like, you know what I mean? And like when you said freelance on top of that, I'm thinking of like people like, hey, I'll do this project for you and I'll charge you this amount of money, you know what I mean, to do the project.
Right.
But that's like them letting them know like, okay, well, this is my recommendation, or these are like what I recommend for this project. And I'm willing to do it for you, but you have to meet me in the middle, especially with this new generation. A lot of these new generation, they don't like to work, or they don't have the same work ethics as people back then. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And there's an argument about, you know, if you should there be unions in Japan about animators, because they tried to do it a bunch of times, but it all fell through each time.
Okay.
So that's another reason why they're talking about freelance is the way to go. These new people who are in animations, they're not being guided the right way. I don't know. We will talk more about it. You know, I bring it up just because he is a prominent guy in Japan's animation industry. He worked on Jujutsu Kaisen as well as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yeah. He did Death Note and as well as some Sailor Moon episodes. So,
the only thing I would end up saying, or like finish that conversation with, is about like the whole union. I think that if it's a crucial thing to have, because
a union,
over there, especially for the animators, I don't know how it is for every other studio. Right. I mean, we're just finding out. You know, we've heard rumors, but nothing was ever concrete. Just because I guess in Japan it's frowned upon to talk negative about your employers or stuff like that, you know? So this is not something like just recently coming out, like more effectively, like actual employees, like stating, you know, what's truly going on in that industry. But so far from what I've seen is a lot of talk has been about one certain studio, which is MAPPA, right?
That's the biggest one as far as like the name. But
so
there's other studios though.
I'm assuming there's probably other studios, but then again, there's probably some good studios that actually do try to, you know, meet their employees in the middle. I know you were talking about like, what was that studio that tried to give their employees a pay raise? TMS to like compensate for their work and stuff like that. So, I mean, I see some studios trying, at least from what you're saying, but there's, like I said, there's other studios that look like they're getting bashed really hard by their employees because of the way they're being treated.
Yeah, so we'll talk more about it on another episode, but definitely at least here with the Norm Hyperbolic Podcast, we do want to pay the respects to the animators.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
man,
it's art, you know.
It is art, and like I said, those animators and MAPPA are fucking killing it with JJK, man. It is ridiculous.
This is Louis' favorite anime.
As of right now, it is. It is my favorite anime, man. I can't not talk great about that anime. Yeah. It's just amazing work. But yeah, man. Go ahead. Next section, man.
Next, in the realm of video games. So we were talking about Dungeons and Dragons game. So the game developer for Payday 3, Starbreeze, they announced that they're going to be working on a Dungeons and Dragons video game project. They've been working on it for a little bit now. So right now it's titled Project Baxterm, and the game is described as a 4-player cooperative multiplayer game built using Unreal Engine, number 5. It's not quite like Baldur's Gate. So have you heard anything about Baldur's Gate?
First time hearing about it.
So Baldur's Gate is a Dungeons and Dragons style game It's on like the newer systems, but then mainly people play it on PC.
Mm-hmm.
So have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons? Or do you know about Dungeons and Dragons? Have you seen like Stranger Things?
I've seen Stranger Things. I've seen the Dungeons and Dragons they played. I've heard of Dungeons and Dragons. I've never played it myself. Yeah. I've even seen the movie Dungeons and Dragons, the new one that they released.
Yeah.
I've seen that one. I mean, the movie was okay. I wouldn't say like waste your time. I just had time in my hands, so I decided to watch it.
Yeah,
it was nothing great, but whatever.
So Dungeons and Dragons, it's a role playing game. So most of the game, or the whole game, is played in your imagination, or maybe on the tabletop if you have any figures or whatever. But the thing about Baldur's Gate is that it adapts Dungeons and Dragons combat style. So it's like turn based, and every person's turn is like 6 seconds within the real world. And then you can move like a certain amount of feet, and then you do a turn. So you can do an attack and then move, or you can move and then attack. And then there's like certain stipulations, and there's like bonus attacks and all these different like stats that you can do. So Baldur's Gate is a Dungeons and Dragons game that is, I don't want to say true to Dungeons and Dragons, but as far as like the play mechanics.
Okay.
So this is going to be set in the world of Dungeons and Dragons. So how you were talking about the movie, that movie is supposed to take place in one of the many fictional worlds that is Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
So the game will be set in Waterdeep, and it isn't a turn-based game, nor does it feature dice rolling, which is a big part of
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons. Like you roll to see if you're successful on your attacks or whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah.
I love that game. You can do anything, as long as the dice help you. However, Starbreeze, the company, they also note that the game isn't a hack and slash. From the initial descriptions, it sounds like the game will be either a fantasy version of Payday or something closer to Diablo. So we were talking about Payday in a different episode, how I wanted to get it. Like it's a game, Payday 2 is a game that I played before and I really love. But Payday 3 came out and there was like mixed reviews on it, but I just like the concept of it. So I did want to get it, but to right now, I haven't, as of right now, I haven't got it. So the last thing I have is Starbreeze plans to release the game in 2026.
Jesus.
I know. And we were talking about Grand Theft Auto right before the podcast, but I'm not waiting on this. It would be kind of cool. And they do have Baldur's Gate, which I'm not playing right now. But closer to the day, I'm going to be looking forward to this game. But 2026, that's long
3
time.
years from
That's
now.
Longer than Grand Theft Auto, they said.
Yeah, which is supposed to be released in 2025.
I know.
Which me and Xavier just talked about it, and we're thinking that it might be towards the end during holiday season.
I know. I'm hopeful that it'll come out in summer, in like the summer of that year.
Just to, like hit the summer vibes with the Miami, but but I can also see them
summertime magic vibe.
Yeah, but I really can also see them just dropping it during holiday time, because that's what they did for the GTA 5. They dropped it during the holiday time.
They did, so
that people can get the new consoles but
remember they released it early enough that it released before even the
holidays. Yeah,
before came out.
That's true.
So we'll see.
We'll see, man. But I am excited about the game. The trailer looks very Florida. If you live in Florida, that trailer screamed Florida. The whole alligator.
Or even if you see it from from the news.
Yeah. Just everything screamed Florida, man. Just the alligators being pulled out of people's pools. Like that's a thing. Like that's an actual thing here in Florida to have that. Or, the whole Miami strip was dope. The jet skis, the boats, and everything just screamed. Even the swamp. Yeah. And I've done that before too. Like I've been on those
the
airboats through the swamp. Like I've done that before in the Everglades. Like everything about it. But from what people have been saying about the map, it seems like a lot of the map was showing like Vice the side City? Of Vice City, and then I guess was supposed to be like the Everglades, which is the middle portion of the map. That's what people are saying. They still have Key West, or I don't know what they're calling it in the game, but it's supposed to be like a representation of Key West. And then they have the other side of the map, which is supposed to be another city, which I thought that was supposed to represent like Naples, Fort Myers kind of thing, or Tampa on the other side. Because Tampa is a pretty big city too, like next to Miami, next to Orlando, next to Key West. Like those are like the 4 crucial cities, right, in Florida. Would you say?
I would say, Orlando. So I heard rumors or whatever about them that they might have like a Disney World style area,
like a theme park kind of style to it.
But that's like mid central Florida, so we'll see. I mean, it's it's all fictional too, so they can't just like squeeze it together.
We'll see, man. But I'm excited though. The game really looks very promising, and it's something that definitely gonna pre-order.
Yeah, you can pre-order it right now if you could.
I think a lot of people would pre-order it right now if they could.
Yeah.
There's no questions asked, man. You know you're gonna get it. So wait 2 years.
Yeah, pay it.
What else can you do but wait the years, man?
You can pay like maybe like 30 cents a day, and by the time it comes out, it'll be paid off.
I rather them take their time, and when the game drops, it be a perfectionist game.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of the games. Have you ever played Cyberpunk?
No.
So Cyberpunk was supposed to be like the game of the year. Like the way they were advertising it, the way they kept talking about the gameplay, the map, and everything.
Keanu Reeves in it.
They pulled all the strings, but it kept getting delayed. It kept getting delayed because, whatever technical difficulties, or they were just patching up whatever they needed to patch up. But eventually they ended up dropping it. But people were like disappointed because there were so many glitches in the game, and they were like, why? And then, you know what I mean? Because I think at the end of the day, it's a business. You build so much hype on it. You don't want it to die down by not. And it costs a lot of money to build that hype, to promote it.
Yeah, but the video game industry, they make a lot of money. Like these video game companies make a lot of money. Like I think they make more money than movies.
They do. But what I'm saying is that sometimes when you rush something, it can hurt you at the end.
Yeah.
I know with Cyberpunk, it hurt them a little bit just because they dropped a game that wasn't really meant to be dropped right away. I know there was a lot of delays, but like I said, I'd rather them take their time and then me get like an actual good version of the game than have to wait later or months for an update to patch whatever glitches the game has. You know what I mean? And sometimes those glitches can really fuck up the game.
Yeah.
And they can really fuck up the business because, we live in a world where everything is recorded. So if they found a glitch in a game, it's going to be posted like, oh, there's a money glitch where you can get unlimited money if you do this or whatever. People are really good when it comes to like exposing stuff.
Yeah.
So.
No, for sure. Well, both of those games are coming out in like 2 to 3 years. So last, in the realm of movies.
What's good with movies, bro?
So we're at the end of the year. So IMDb released their year's top 10s movies and shows based on a collection of data from their IMDb Pro Movie Meter, which uses page views to determine like popularity and interest. So I'm just going to go ahead and give these to you and you tell me what you think about these shows. And
go for it.
I feel like you're pretty versed in like what's hot right now in movies. So these are the top. I'll start with shows. Do you want me to go from the bottom or from the top?
Go from the bottom.
From the bottom. So we have at number 10, Gen V.
Ooh, that's a good show.
Now you're saying that it does live up to the hype of The Boys.
It does. I think everybody would agree that Gen V lived to the hype of The Boys, and the fact that they're getting a reboot for season 2
of Gen V
is to show you how good it was.
Yeah, a friend of mine, she's watching it now for the first time, and I was like, watching it with her or whatever, and I think
it's graphic though.
Yeah, it's so funny, like for me to anticipate it, and then I'm like waiting for her to be like, "Oh, we're damn."
Yeah, no, it's graphic.
I love,
but I think I love that because I love the.
It's you, and it's sometimes it is a little shock value, but I don't know, like they just do it so nice.
Okay, you know how we like grow up with superheroes like the Flash, Superman, and Batman and stuff like that,
right?
And it's in their realistic world, or in that world, they're the good guys. They're there to protect. But there's also that thought of like, what if Batman or what if Superman in reality gets corrupted?
But they do that all the time in DC. Like,
but I love that, man. Yeah, because I feel like that's more realistic.
So does my dad.
I feel like that's just way more realistic. We live in a world where corruption is super easy, but the idea of a superhero is that they're the guys. Good guys, I know, but they just like
it's an escape from
But I just love it, man. Like, I just love it. And especially with The Boys and Gen B, like, they really talk about, like, how social media and how the world really works. And just, let's add superheroes on top of that. Nice. And how, like, it's just crazy. Like, definitely recommend watch The Boys and definitely recommend watch Gen B. You have to. It's just, it's really good. All right, man. What's next?
So number 9, we have The Bear. So we talked about it on our Food Wars episode. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either, but I'm dying to watch it. It looks really good.
I guess it's about food.
Yeah.
So then number 8, we have Ted Lasso, which I think is an Apple TV show.
Yes.
And everybody at my job loves this show.
So I've seen like videos of it. I think it's about soccer, right?
I don't know.
I think he's a soccer coach, and he got invited to train a soccer league, and I don't know, somewhere else.
The way they describe it is that it's very earnest, like Ted Lasso. He's like a real
like upbeat, like very
like just a nice guy.
Yes. Yeah. From what I've seen from the trailers, yeah. I haven't seen it personally, like episode by episode, but I think I have a general gist of what the show is about.
So number 7, we have The Fall of the House of Usher, which I heard is not about Usher. Number 6, we have One Piece. It made the top 10.
That's crazy.
Right?
The live animation, live adaptation, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's 6. Crazy, man.
And so we, for listeners of the podcast, we have a review on that one on
Watch it.
YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
So number 5, we have The Mandalorian, which is still going strong.
I see that.
Number 4, we have Black Mirror, which I haven't finished it. I haven't
seen this new season.
I haven't finished it. I've seen I think there's only like 4 episodes, 4 or 5, but I've seen 2 of them. I need to get back on it, but I don't know. I do that sometimes, like where I get worried about finishing a show. So I'm glad that I have more episodes to watch, but I do need to watch it. And then number 3 is Succession, which I think is another one of those like Paramount or Apple TV shows. I don't know anything about it, to be honest.
Me neither.
Number 2, we have Ahsoka, which is that.
Oh, I've been talking about that one.
You have it. Have you been able to watch it?
I've gotten through episode 2 so far.
Yeah. What do you think?
It's good, man. I like it. I like the story. Yeah. I like the actors too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Star-studded cast.
Yeah.
And then number 1, we have The Last of Us. Ooh, so again,
that was
good. Go on.
You haven't seen it yet?
I've seen the first episode, but I don't have any interest in watching it. Like it's
it's kind of repetitive because it is based off the game. So if you already played the game, you kind of already know what the story is. I played the game like 3 times, bro. Yeah, but I mean, for the people that have never played the game or played it but never really finished it, the show is good. Like you're not gonna be disappointed, and especially if you heard of the game, never played it, watch the show at least because you're going to be like, damn, maybe I should pick up the game.
That's my recommendation. If you like the show, just play the game.
Yeah. I think it's going to make you want to play the game just because there's just more to the story through the game. And then you get more information about like, you know what I mean? Because it is based off the game. So
it's just a good game too.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So then next, the movies. So these are the top 10 movies. And these are all, again, through popularity and page views.
Okay.
So from the bottom, we have number 10, The Flash.
How is that even top 10?
Lewis's favorite.
How is that even top 10?
DCU show.
How did that even end up in top 10 movies, man?
So again,
I thought it was a fail.
This is not ratings, and this is not box office. This is just off of page views. So this is people going on IMDb
to watch it.
To click on it.
To click on it.
Because IMDb, it's not just movie trivia, but it's like movie and show statistics. And
have you ever like heard of a really bad movie that you're just like, let me watch it to see how really bad it is? Or like maybe a movie that you thought could have been promising and people tell you like, oh no, it was horrible. Like it was just bad. But your intuition is still like, let me watch it. Why is it so bad? Like, let me see with my own eyes. Like,
so I like bad movies. Not that I like all movies. I just like watching a movie. But I will enjoy a bad movie if it's fun enough.
Like funny?
Just fun. Like just fun to laugh at this movie or like, real weird and cheesy things that they were like, okay, let's leave that in the movie.
Well, the reason I even watched The Flash, man, I was just so intrigued about the fact that people were saying how terrible it was. To the point that I was like, well, let me watch. Because I said, it's
like a car crash. You just can't look away.
Yeah. Like you just like, let me just see what made it so bad. And then like right from the first 10 minutes of it, you're like, okay, I see now why it was so bad. Like that's just crazy. But never mind.
So that was number 10. And then number 9 was Killer of the Flower Moon.
Never seen that one or heard of it.
Or Killers of the Flower Moon. It's like a Leonardo DiCaprio. And I forget the director, but it's like one of those big directors.
Yeah.
Number 8, we have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Ooh, love that movie.
We both love that movie. We here at the Norm Hyperbolic Podcast love Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Sure. Next time we do a Spider-Man episode, we're going to just have Spider-Man suits on.
Yeah, mask and everything.
Mask and everything.
So number 7, we have Five Nights at Freddy. And that...
Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen it. My son went to go see it. He went to see it on Halloween.
Oh, I saw it the other day with my kids. They went to go see it with their mom.
Yeah.
And they wanted to go to the movies to see it, but I managed to...
Convince them to go again?
No, I managed to just watch it on my TV. So we watched it at home instead.
Oh, okay.
But it was good. I liked it, man. I liked it. The story was It wasn't bad compared to like, because sometimes when they do like a video game to a live adaptation, sometimes it just doesn't go, but the story was actually pretty decent. So I can't be like, oh, it was horrible. No, it was pretty good.
No, and it was the highest grossing horror movie of the year this year. So
really?
It was, yeah.
Because probably kids.
Yeah, I mean, Blumhouse, Blumhouse, they got some bangers, but
not always.
It's mixed. I mean, it's, scary movies.
It's a
scary
hit or
movies
miss.
are not, like,
no.
You kind of have to know what you're going into. It's a scary movie.
There is some scary movies that they literally hit on the nail. And then there's some scary movies that you're just like, oh, their imagination wasn't all there. They could have done better. 6.
Number 6, we have the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
That was good.
That one was good. Number 5, we have John Wick Chapter 4.
Too long.
And then on number 4, we have The Little Mermaid, which I forgot came out this year.
I have not seen it yet.
That shit must have came out like January.
Yeah.
And then number 3, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Loved it.
Loved that movie.
Loved it. Highly recommended. Like the story was told so perfectly.
Yeah.
It was a masterpiece.
And
Best Guardian. Would you say that one is the best Guardian of the Galaxy volume? Or did you think 1 or 2 were better?
So I'm kind of a purist sometimes. So I do like the first one. The first one is just so great. Same like when we were talking about the Across the Spider-Verse. I think the first one is a little bit better just because it's the first one.
Yeah.
Number 2 kind of like built on it, but it built on it in a very natural, organic way or whatever. So this one being the third one of Guardians of the Galaxy, it was really good. And I did like it a lot, but it wasn't magical, or it wasn't like.
I don't think it was meant to be magical.
No, not meant to. But
more.
But you're asking me like which one I like better.
Which one do you like better?
I like the first
1,
one.
2, 3.
I like the first one better.
I like the third one, man.
The third one?
Yeah.
I mean, the third one's good.
The story was way much better than the first one. But the first one, I can't see. Like, it was more uplifting, more positive, more funny.
Yeah, it's feel good.
Feel good. Like a feel good. The third one was like, not so much of a feel good, like emotionally wise. Like, you're not leaving the movie theater like joyful.
You're leaving it crying.
Yeah, there was moments that you wanted to cry.
Agency.
Yeah, and just adopt a raccoon for no reason. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, there was memes about it all over the internet, just about like wanting to rescue a raccoon, or like people going outside just to like give raccoons food because it just felt bad.
So I follow this page on Instagram that is just a bunch of raccoons. Yeah, I love raccoons.
Oh, I bet you that page blew the hell up. Yeah. They're like, why are we getting so many followers?
I know, overnight. And then number 1 and number 2 is the Barbenheimer. We got number 1 is Oppenheimer and number 2 is Barbie.
Can you believe that I have not seen 1 or 2?
You haven't seen Barbie or Oppenheimer?
No.
Damn. So they came out with it on like Blu-ray or whatever, and I'm waiting for them to release them both together. I don't know why they haven't done that, but those are 2 really good movies too.
No, I have not seen. I will definitely watch number 1. I do like the whole concept of like the atomic bomb,
bangers, bro.
But number 2,
Barbie.
I'm not a big fan of Barbie. You don't honest.
To be honest, I don't want to say nobody, but that's not The Cell. The Cell is not Barbie. Like The Cell is the comedy and all these different things, and it's
and the big name actors that they got playing these roles.
They got mad actors in this movie. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but especially you haven't seen it. But no, you should definitely watch it.
And I'm good with spoilers, bro.
I know you are.
All right, man.
All right, so that's it. That's it for the news.
Oh, shit, man. That went through real quick. Well, now it's time for the meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
Jumping into the chainsaw world. All right, man.
All right, so Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man. So
the manga was written by Tatsuki Fujimoto, serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump from 2018 December to December 2020.
Okay.
With the second arc beginning serialization on Shonen Jump Plus app, which is I keep saying app. It's just the online version of Shonen Jump. July 2022. Follows protagonist Denji, a poor young man who's working to pay off his parents' debt after their passing.
What was his dad?
I think it's just his dad.
Just his dad.
And then he lives in a world of devils. So these devils are kind of like demons in Demon Slayer, but I think that they're a little bit more evil and more powerful. And the powers range widely depending on what the devil is. So devils, they're born of human fears. So if enough people fear something, that you can be sure that there's a devil for it. So they have like zombie devils, bomb devils, sword devils, all different types of devils.
Okay.
Denji meets Puchita, which is a chainsaw devil dog, and they're both just 2 dogs down on their luck They become friends and then decide to become devil hunters to make some money to buy food. Before I get into more about that, what do you think about the anime, bro? Or in general, because so just to be straight with everyone, I haven't seen the anime, or I've seen I try to watch it, man. I promise to try to watch it.
So
but the story overall, what do you think?
The story is really good. It's compelling. It like brings you in, just like the whole creativity of the devil and Denji himself, and just like how naive he is and how he's like really open-minded but very direct about like the things that he wants.
Yeah.
I've read the manga just for this podcast, right. But normally when I started Chainsaw Man, it was through the animation. So just season 1 alone and just watching it. And I fell in love. I was like, yo, I really like the whole concept. I like the whole concept of him turning into the Chainsaw Man and having a chainsaw for a head and chainsaw for arms and just cutting through shit. And you know what I mean? And
I love it.
It's very graphic, very Ichi also.
Yeah.
You know, there is moments where you're like, whoa, that's a little
risque.
A little risky on the anime side.
So I will say, just for this episode, we are just going to be talking about the first season. So, you know, even though I've read the manga, I made sure to just cover the first arc.
So what is technically the first arc? Because I've read it to the ending. It feels like the ending of Chainsaw. Like I thought that's where it ends, but then it restarts again with him going back to high school, which kind of threw me off. And I read a couple of chapters from there on, and from what I've heard online, like that.
No spoilers, bro. Just
no spoilers. No, I'm saying like from what I read online, like that arc is more of like they go into like a more deeper explanation of what a devil is. Or like how they overcome, or like more about their powers kind of thing. Yeah. So that's what people have been saying about like, so I'm considering that like the second arc.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So
it's the arc after the first.
So
arc.
The first arc is like what we're going to be discussing the most. That's really where I've read the most and try to understand. And they built, you know, it's just season 1 from that arc alone.
Right.
But I'm not ready to jump into the second arc. So there might be episode 2 for our podcast, just diving into that second arc. But I know the second arc was more like complex in the sense of like they tried to explain more about the devils.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. So it is more personal and it is more about Denji, which what I like about it. And the story does kind of get away after everything blows over, but it's just, I don't know, man. Like it's just so fun and funny.
Yeah.
The writer, Fujimoto, he wrote the manga. He previously, before this one, wrote a manga called Fire Punch. So it was also serialized through the Shonen Jump Plus app. Mm-hmm. So he wanted to eventually write for Weekly Shonen, the magazine, but thought that his style of stories would get like buried under and against these other Jump-like mangas. So, you know, we watch a lot of Shonen Jump mangas and animes on this podcast, but I don't want to say once you've seen one, you've seen them all, but they follow like a similar story. Like you have your hero, he's a little bit of an underdog, and then he like grows stronger as he like climbs like the demon lair, or, you know, trying to be the number 1 hero, or, you know, the greatest Saiyan, or the Hokage, or the president, or whatever, you know, these shonen protagonists go through. So he thought with Chainsaw Man that his shit would get buried, that it wouldn't, you know, stack up against, because it's not like that. Like it's not a shonen. Like there's no tournament arc, you know, like there always is. There's nothing like that. Currently, the second arc is titled the School Arc. So it's only being released right now on the Shonen Jump Plus app. He says that there's little difference though with working with the Shonen Jump magazine and the Shonen Jump Plus, since he's worked with them before on this Fire Punch. Mm-hmm. And only a few times did his ideas get rejected when like in the rough draft phase, but for the most part, they gave him like, you know, the liberty to do whatever he wants with the logic of his stories. He says this about the anime. Chainsaw Man is like a copycat of Dorohedoro. Have you ever seen that?
I want to say yes. Is that the one with the alligator head?
Yes.
Yes, and I've seen it.
You seen it?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's crazy.
Yeah, so he says it's a copy of that and Jujutsu Kaisen, which I'm just gonna say JJK because you said it to me one time and I was like, I like that better than
So saying the whole thing.
Yeah, really deadass.
JJK.
So he said it's a copycat of those two animes, and the studio who produced those animes want to do Chainsaw Man. Please do it. This is what he said. Just a little bit about the production of the anime.
Was it Mappa that did season 1?
Yeah, so
okay.
It was produced by Mappa, airing from October 2022 to December 22 as well. For the first season, that only went 12 episodes.
Yeah, which sucks because you wanted more,
right? So I said it in the top of the episode. I am not a fan of the animation style
because of the CGI, right?
Because of the CGI, and I don't hate CGI. Me being a fan of the manga, that manga is so. It's black and white or whatever, but let me from the beginning. It's beautiful. It's a beautifully detailed manga.
Yeah.
So I think that the CGI is like a little bit lazy and it cheapens a lot of the stuff. Like when you see him jumping around and things like that, like, I don't know, it feels weightless. And I know it looks like anime, but every time I see it, I can't help but think of like Jimmy Neutron and, shit like that.
Okay.
So to me, I just know it would look 10 times better if it was 2D animated. I tried to give it another chance for this episode, and I promise you, normies, I tried to watch this anime. And it was like, it's only 12 episodes. I can fucking knock that shit out. But I just couldn't.
You couldn't?
I could not, bro.
How far did you get in?
I got to like the third episode.
And that was, you're like...
Yes, man.
You felt like you were being thrown up in your mouth.
Yeah. Yes, man. Really, dead ass. I don't know. And so what I was also trying to say is like when you are reading it, and I read the whole thing on the Shonen Jump app. And this is not a plug or whatever, but when you go into like each,
but it could be.
If you go once you get through the volumes, because you do them chapters, and then each volume has like 10 chapters or whatever it is. They show you the title or like the cover art for each volume. Mm-hmm. The manga's in black and white, but the covers are just so vivid. Like there's like a cover, and I'll put it in the video version. What's that girl? Or Makima?
Makima.
She's like, she's like standing next to Chainsaw Man, and there's like intestines all over the place, but the intestines are like neon blue.
Yeah.
And like, bright greens and pinks, and it just looks so cool. I know the manga wouldn't be like that, or the anime wouldn't be like that, but I don't know. I just have that appreciation with the 2D art where. Yeah. And just anime in general. So I think they dropped the ball with making it. I know Mappa has like a lot on their plate, and they're trying to, strike while the iron's hot. Like it took 2 years for the anime to come out after it was already written. But I don't know, man. I think they missed. It's a missed opportunity.
Hey, let me ask you this though. Do you think that the hype for Chainsaw Man is like dying down though?
I mean, it is because it's over, but I think it can easily just pick back up again, to be honest. Deadass. Just because
I just don't hear a lot of people talking about it. That's why I'm asking. Like,
I mean, like I said, it's only
between my
episodes.
Anime friends, I don't really. It's not an anime that we passionately talk about. Not like JJK or One Piece or
right. A lot of that does have to do with hype, but I feel like with this one, when it was at its height, I feel like all of my friends were talking about this, and I feel like it was very like,
That's true, and that's how I felt when when I was first watching it. Like it was such a great anime that I thought a season 2 was going to be like around the corner for it.
Right.
And I'm surprised that it's been taking this long there is no official date for a season 2. I mean, there's been talk and rumors about potentially maybe sometime next year for season 2 for Chainsaw Man. But like I said, as of this very moment, there is no confirmed date on that.
Right. And so I do have the rumors here, but I don't want to blame Mappa, and I don't want to blame this guy being like inexperienced, because he only has this one other manga that made it to serialization before Chainsaw Man. But I just think the thing that sets it apart from all these other like My Heroes or even Jujutsu Kaisen, to be honest, Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero, Attack on Titan, is that it is very stylish, that it is very goofy, and you have it's simple. Like you trade demons for devils, and towards the end of the first arc, at least for me, the story kind of got away from me, and especially because of the art. Like there's so much going on that you don't lose the motion, but I was like, what the hell is going on? And at least for me, I get to sit with it longer when I'm reading it. So I'm just like looking at it and I can just go back and I'm like, it's just.
Well, there is really moments that you're just like trying to figure, because I feel like there's times where the story feels really simple and you feel like you can follow along, and then they hit you with some like complexity to the story. Like there's more underneath the layers and you're like, okay, so there's more to the story than just Denji being Denji. You know what I mean? Like in the same time, you're also trying to figure out like about the organization and how that plays, and then about the devils itself, like how, you know, how strong is Denji? Because I've also like it always hits in my mind how you had mentioned like a devil is as strong as somebody fears that devil, right? So, or fears that object or whatever it is. My thing is like, how strong is the Chainsaw Man? If in reality, strong, I don't think they're. I mean, in the anime, we know how strong he is, but like in reality, I'm like,
do people fear chainsaws?
Do people really fear chainsaws that much?
So, and I think this is not a spoiler, but the thing about Chainsaw Man is devils fear Chainsaw Man.
So that's what makes him more stronger.
So that's what. So and they haven't revealed it. And I remember when we were talking about Attack on Titan, like how much of Attack on Titan was pre-planned. So with this one, it does look kind of straightforward. And this guy, you know, I don't know him, but at least from the interviews that I was watching, he looks and sounds kind of like loosey goosey. He does like real like not goofy, but he's probably Denji. You know,
yeah,
he probably is like just like this cool guy who's not really like, he doesn't take things too seriously.
Yeah, and I think that's really good about this anime is like you feel like the animator or the illustrator that wrote this wasn't really taking it like they're not trying to make the next Attack on Titan something so complex and twists and turns. I mean, there is twists and turns because I feel like that's what makes the story a little bit more compelling or maybe draw people in.
But the thing that I was saying is, so, you know, in this anime or in the manga, they have like these things called fiends. So fiends are devils that possessed a dead body.
Yes.
So think about these fiends that when they possess a dead body, they retain the personalities of the devil. So if like I die, the box devil comes to possess my body. It's not me. It's the box
or
devil.
Fox.
Whoever
who is fearing boxes?
Yeah, I don't know, man. People who are claustrophobic.
Damn, bro, I don't know, man. That's the worst devil to be.
I know, right?
No, but like the same thing with Power. Like Power is a fiend she is. What is she like? The blood?
She's the blood devil.
The blood devil. So blood devil took over this female's body,
right?
But when her personality is based off like she is the blood devil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that doesn't change. Like Denji is a hybrid.
Right.
Where he is possessed by a devil, but he still retains his own personality.
Yeah. And they even say that the devil is still alive in his body. Yes. Everyone except for Power says that. The thing that I was going to say is that these devils, when they die, because sometimes they come back, the last thing that they hear before they die or before they come back or in between or whatever is the revving of a chainsaw. So it's just, you know, he might have just thrown that out there too, as far, you know, whatever. If it does come back at the end, I was even trying to speculate, like, you know, what is it about a chainsaw that, like, is it a blend of like man and machine, or I don't know, you know, because it's not, because you know, you have the bomb devil and you have the katana devil.
Yeah.
These are also man-made weapons.
What makes the chainsaw more fearable? Like, what is it about him that other devils fear him or want him?
I don't know. Yeah, because everybody wants his heart. Like all the devils want
everybody.
The
like
Man's
literally,
heart.
Denji is he's so popular that everybody wants him. Like he's like, why do people want me? Like I'm a nobody.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's because he has the chainsaw, and I feel like you don't really understand that from the very beginning of the show, because you're just like in Denji's mind of him just being like poor.
Yeah.
Like literally to him, his dream of just having a full sandwich with tomatoes, lettuce, and you know, that is like a goal of his. You know, and it's something that we eat on a regular basis, but for him, it's like that's a dream come true. You know, but
he slowly gets to these goals He ups his goals
little by little, but it's like goals that you're just like really out of everything you can possibly have a goal for. But the thing is, he's just so simple minded, and he's just very like pin focused on whatever comes through his mind, and he's like, okay, that's what I want to do, or like that's my goal. You know what I mean? Like I think like in one of the episodes, Denji and Aki, they go into this, I think it's like an apartment where one of the bodies that died got overtaken by a devil.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah. Denji just kills him, but like in a very clean way. Yeah. And he says...
He doesn't turn into the Chainsaw Man.
He's like, I didn't have to. He says the reason he didn't do it was because he noticed that there was pornography magazines, and he was just focused on getting those, and he said if I turn into the chainsaw, I'm gonna rip through this person apart, and it's gonna be blood and guts everywhere, and I don't want to ruin those magazines because I want those for later. But that's what I mean, like just simple-minded, like just
he's great, man. He's so fun and funny, man. So
which makes the person funny, you know, and I think that's what makes the anime so light in that sense. Like it's not heavy, but then you do start figuring out that there is like layers to this, you know, once you start learning more about like Makima and her plans and how she plays a huge role, and you know, and about Aki and his background, and you know, the things that he's been through, and the reason why he's part of the public safety organization,
right?
So but yeah, keep going, man.
So as far as the manga won a couple of awards back in 2021. Manga Barcelona and the Shogakukan manga's best shonen manga. So they won that award, and then there's the Harvey Awards best manga 3 years in a row.
Oh wow.
The anime also won Japan's Expo Award for best opening. So that's a question I wanted to ask you. How do you feel about the opening?
I'm trying to think of it.
It goes, it's so funky. So for someone who doesn't like the manga or the anime, I love the opening.
You like the opening?
I do like the opening. It made me hopeful, and maybe that's why I was let down, because I just wanted it to be so good. Yeah. But just even like I don't know if I'll be able to play it. I think I'll be able to play it. We definitely won't be able to play it in the podcast. But as far as in the YouTube version, it's like real funky, man. It goes it's so nice. If you want, I would say we can pause, and I think
I believe you, man. I think
so there's a bunch of like movie references in the opening as well.
Yes, I think I've heard of that. Yeah.
So they have like, you know, the Big Lebowski. Like there's like a scene where he's like cleaning the balls, the bowling balls, and he just does it in like this funny way. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which is just like some like random ass movie for them to have like it's not even a cameo. It's like a shot for shot replication. And then a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies. Yeah. So there's a scene of like from Pulp Fiction. All the characters are dressed like Reservoir Dogs. Yeah. Like the freaking, you know, the white shirt and the black tie. So
like we are.
We are. So that you can tell that at least the animation house has a lot of like appreciation for
Western,
these different movies just in general, because Western media. Yeah. Because, you know, none of that's there's no opening in the manga, you know? So
that's true.
I will say as far as like for a manga or for an anime that I don't really care for, like it does have a very good opening. Like I love the song. I even saw like, you know, when it came out, they played the opening, but then they put Gangnam Style over it, and it just fit. And that kind of like, you know, should tell you, you know, how the show is or whatever. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get into favorite characters and moments. So, Lewis, what are your favorite characters? Who are your favorite moments?
So, characters and moments. I think my favorite character, and I think she's underplayed just because the way she comes out, is Kobeni. So, she's part of the organization of the public safety, but she's part of like maintaining the devils, I guess, like a handler. Okay. Because that's the way I see them. Like Kobeni, Himeno, and Aki are like handlers of Denji and Power, you know, make sure that they stay in line and they're not just doing whatever the hell they want to do. Yeah. So with Kobeni, I feel like her character is very funny because she's only there because she says she gets great benefits, a great salary. Since she didn't go to college like her older sister or younger sister did, like this is a way of like, you know, at least giving back to her parents or like showing or making her parents proud. But she's like low-key does not want to be there because she knows like what the job entitles. Like she knows that it entitles fighting devils,
which is very risky.
Which is very risky job, and just putting herself in a situation where she probably doesn't want to be in. So, but then she does show like why she is good at what she does. Like when it comes to like hand-to-hand combat, you're surprised by like, whoa, like for a person that doesn't want to be there, or a person like, oh, I'm only here for the money and I do want to quit, but we're getting close to the Christmas bonuses,
right?
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
She's really good with the hand-to-hand combat. So her character surprises me sometimes. And it's just funny because I feel like she's one of those relatable characters where I don't know if people, but you know, I've been in a job where I'm just there because the money's pretty good and they have pretty good bonuses and benefits, but you hate the job, but you're like, might as well suck it up because, you know. So I feel like she's the type of person that she's just like, I'm just here
to collect the paycheck.
To collect the paycheck. But she's really like, when it comes to hand-to-hand combat, she's pretty good.
Okay.
Which is surprising.
So,
and then favorite moment, or like a favorite moment in the anime,
or like a standout moment.
Standout moment, I want to say, damn, I think it was when at the beginning of the season where Denji is fighting the Bat Devil, and he like ends up killing the Bat Devil, but then the Bat Devil's girlfriend, which is like a slug,
I think so,
appears, or the slug devil, I can't remember exactly what type of devil it was, and Denji is like out of blood, and he's like, my dream is to touch boobs. And she was like, well, my dream is to kill all humans and, you know, be top devils with my, dead boyfriend now, the Bat Devil. And he was like, well, I will fight you to see which dream is better.
Right.
And she ends up technically winning, but then Aki shows up with the Fox Devil and just does the little bam, and it just summons the Fox Devil, and the Fox Devil just comes and just eats it, and it's just like done. I was like, yo, that's so, and it reminds me of the Nine-Tailed Fox from
the way he looks.
Yeah, the way it looks. So I just thought it was dope. I like that part. That's my favorite part, man. I mean, there is gross moments too that I was thinking about, like the throw up scene, or the scenes between him and Makima. Or I think the funniest scene is when he is with Power, and I think they're like in this vending machine aisle, and this is where Power is like telling Denji how she has a cat, but the cat is being held captive by the Bat Devil.
Right.
And like Denji's like, okay, so like, why do I give a fuck? And then she's like, well, you know, if you help me out, I'll do anything you want, you know. And then he's like, tell me about like touching her boobs, and she was like
3 times or some shit.
And then when she agrees, he's like, his whole like attitude changes, like, fuck the Bat Devil, you know, how dare he hold your cat captive? Like, that is, oh my god, I'm definitely gonna whoop his ass. Like his whole demeanor just changed. Like a moment ago, he's like, he didn't give a fuck about her cat, and all of a sudden,
he's motivated.
Now he's like motivated. He's like, oh my god, I get to touch breasts. Like, yes. Fuck the Bat Devil. Like, we're saving your cat right now. Today, let's go.
Say less.
Say less. Like, yeah. So I thought that was like just his demeanor, just like Denji's like switches back and forth. And I feel he is very manipulated when it comes to females. And a lot of every female he meets is literally always manipulating.
Oh my god, I know.
Everyone, like the Bomb Devil, when he met the Bomb Devil, how easily she was able to manipulate him and like just like make him feel like, oh, this could potentially be something or whatever. Like he was even like, I'll escape with you, or like even like towards the end, like how she was like there to murder him. And he still was like, well, I still want you. Like, if you really want to be with me or whatever, I'll wait for you at this cafe. And there he is sitting there with flowers. But then Makima gets to the Bomb Devil and she never shows up to the cafe. But Power does. And then Power starts eating his fucking flowers. And he's like, you're not supposed to eat that. Like, and just the dynamic between Denji and Power is pretty funny too.
Yeah. So those are a couple of my favorite characters. So I do like Puchita. I know he's only in there for like, you know, the first couple episodes or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just love dogs, and I don't know, like, so I don't have my keys on me, but my key to like the key that I use or whatever is a little Puchita. So
Puchita.
No, so it's a Puchita.
Oh,
because it's a key.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So I just love the Puchita, and then
I'm like, you said it right, and then you said Poquita, and I'm like, I think it's Puchita.
Yeah, no, it's the Puchita.
Okay.
But what you call it? There's like, so he's in the first episode or whatever, and then in the manga, you know, you fill in the voice with your head. But in the anime, it was just like kind of weird. Like I remember him having like a very like surprising voice. He was like, because he was speaking English to Denji.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I do like Denji. He is fun and funny. He kind of like makes the manga for me. So there's other funny moments like with Power, but like those two and maybe another character. I can't remember her name right now, but
what's she look like?
She's the one with the black hair. I think she's the other half of Aki. Like the one who's always like they're trading cigarettes.
Oh, Himeno.
Himeno?
Yeah, that's her name. The one with the eye patch.
Yes.
Always smoking. Yeah, chain smoking.
Yeah. So she's nice too. Or as far as like, like with the vibe or the funniness or whatever.
Yeah.
So I do like the look of Chainsaw Man as well. He kind of reminds me of another favorite character of mine, Wolverine.
Yes.
So I just love that grisly like look that he has.
Yeah.
He's got fresh kicks on. He got a fucking chainsaw out of his face, like the eyes. He's got like the signature orange. He's got an iconic look.
Yes.
And it looks like it hurts, like to have these chainsaws like coming out of you.
It probably does.
I think it does. So that's what he says. Like he didn't want to hurt. It's a painful thing. But then, like how you said, he was actually just trying to preserve the nudie magazines.
Yeah.
But I love Power. I love strong women. She is very kooky. And she's got cool blood powers where she can turn like blood into like a big hammer or a sword or whatever. She's also just super fun and funny. And she is who I think the only good woman in the show. I think
objectively, I think so too. But that's just because I feel like Power has this like child mentality. Yeah. So you can't really like. And it's the same thing with Denji. Like Denji has this really like because he's still stuck in his childhood.
But that's why I like them together, not like romantically. I just mean
not romantically, like just friends,
back to back. Yeah, there's like a scene where they're both in the hospital, and I forget who was like being. It's not neither of them are hurt, but they're like eating chips or whatever, and.
Aki's always getting hurt. He's always ends up in the hospital.
I think so.
Because he doesn't have the healing powers like Denji and Power have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just a regular human that has contracts with devils and be able to summon them. Like even Aki said, like if I have to summon the fox demon, my contract means I have to give up something of mine. Yeah. Like a body part or something or flesh or whatever.
Yeah.
So every time he summons the fox demon, the fox devil, he then has to go to the hospital for like something.
Right. Yeah, because it drains him or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's nice. And then as far as like the devils, I don't really have too many devils that I like. I like the bomb girl devil. She's kind of cool, only just off the vibe, or I don't hate, overusing that word, but just off of her look. Like she
looks pretty cool. Yeah.
She looks like, I remember we were talking about Elfin Lead.
Yes.
About how she's, from the
with the mask.
Yeah.
Like
from the neck down, she's just a regular woman. And then from the neck up, she's got like this big bomb on her head. And I just, I think her power is very unique. So you have the Katana Devil. He's cool, whatever. I like his hat, but
I like his hat.
I do like his hat, but it's straightforward. It's like the Chainsaw Man, but it's a sword. He's got a sword in his face, sword in his arms. But the Bomb Devil was a little bit creative, as far as like a look, as an antagonist.
When it comes to devils, though, I think I like Makima's the best. Like her being, what is her?
She's got like chains or whatever. I think she's a control
devil. She's the control devil. Like I just something about Makima is like at the beginning you're just like there's something more to her. Like there's something more to her. And as soon as
her from the beginning,
why? Because she's like manipulative.
Yeah, because
towards Denji.
Yeah, she's like, you're a dog. Don't say shit. Don't say nothing but yes or woof. And I'm like, come on, Denji.
But Denji likes that.
Because he doesn't know any better.
I know you don't know any better.
Because he is a dog. Because he got that dog in him.
Don't we all? We're all canine by heart, man. But still, like Makima, I don't know, man. Something about her, like demeanor and just like, there's more to it than just what she leads on. And then you start finding more about her
that's why
as the story develops. And then like not to trust her. And the fact that Denji has to like literally end her life just to finish that arc. It's pretty good, man. And I feel bad for Aki, like I feel like he really tries to like keep Denji and Power in control and it sucks because they both live with him. So he doesn't get that peace and quiet that he wants when you go home. Like you're fucking exhausted. And then here's Denji and Power full energy.
I know.
Like you don't get a break.
I know. I love it. I fucking love it.
And I think like that, I felt like, damn, bro, I feel for Aki. Oh my God. Like you're stressed at work. your job really like entitles of you probably dying anytime soon. And when you're on your day off, you just want to go home and relax. And here is these two childlike people,
knuckleheads,
just up and down, jumping and fighting and arguing, and you're just like, bro, I just need a day off.
I know. And he is like no nonsense too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's right, man.
So I don't dislike the Gun Devil. I do think he's a little bit overpowered. And there's like a scene with the Darkness Devil. And that's kind of like where the story kind of got away from me. So I was like, what the hell am I even looking at? Like when they were like in hell or whatever.
In hell, yeah, they were in hell.
I was just like, what is this? Not what does this have to do with the story, but like how are we here? You know, like, you know, it's manga and an anime, so obviously it's wild.
It is.
As far as like the logic of the story, like I just didn't know if they really explained it very good. But also, what I will say, something that I will fall back to, or even like full circle, is that the manga is very artistic.
It is.
So I kind of excuse it because, like I said earlier, the story you kind of are like, what's going on, but you never like lose the motion of what's going on, or of like, you know, where they're going or what's really happening. You might have to stare at it for a while, but as far as like the art or what's going on, it's great.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. And then for favorite moments, so just most of the scenes with him in power, I think they're really nice. So there's a scene with the Eternity Devil. It's the devil where they get stuck in this room, and then they're there for I think days. And then the devil says, hey, if you guys give me, this is where we find out that devils just love or want to eat Chainsaw Man. They're like, if you guys throw Chainsaw Man in here, I'll eat him, and then I'll let you guys go free. So this is like as soon as Denji,
Eternity Devil.
It's when he first gets like indoctrinated with the public safety group. So they
is that what they go to that hotel and they're stuck there for days because there's like an eternity loop or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. I now remember.
So that's the one. So the reason that I have it here on my favorite is because I was like watching this or reading it, and you know, it is nice or whatever, and I'm like, you know, giving it a chance, and I do, even if I'm not feeling it for like a second, I still push through. So there's like a scene where they all turn on him, and then Aki is the only one like in control, and he's like, hey, you know, we're not going to turn on each other or whatever. So Chainsaw Man or Denji, he jumps into the Eternity Devil, and he's like, you know what, don't worry, I got him, I'm gonna kill him down there. He thinks he's gonna eat me, but whatever. So he eats him. The Eternity Devil eats Denji, and then it's like this vicious cycle of like he turns into the Chainsaw Man. He's like cutting him up, but he just keeps regenerating. And then the way that the devils work is that you get more power the more blood you consume. Mm-hmm. So what Denji finds out is that if he just keeps drinking the Eternity Devil's blood, then he'll just keep getting his chainsaws back, because after a while his chainsaws go away.
Yeah.
So for 3 days they fight. You know, they do it like, you know, like in the manga. So at the end of the manga, he's like, he looks like he's about to die, but then he just comes back. So then they just fight for 3 days or whatever. And then finally the Eternity Devil's like, okay, I can't do any more of this. Please kill me. And then he just kills him. So I think the girl that we were talking about, you just said her name.
Kobeni or Himeno.
She has like ghost powers or whatever. So he like, Denji's arm gets chopped off, and then she gets the hand and like rips the cord, and then he just comes back, and it's just like
just an aid to like help him.
It's so great. And it happens earlier or whatever, but that's when I was like, okay, I can see where this is going. I see this is like, I get the vibe.
Yeah.
So I do like the vomit kiss. I don't like the vomit kiss, but I like it off the court, because at least in my friend group, like that's a meme that we send to each other. We haven't sent each other in a while, but it's just so fun and funny. Like it's so gross, and it's I don't want to say he deserves it, Denji, but he's like worried because he likes Makima, but then he
wants the kiss
from this other girl that they made a deal with. So he's making these contracts all over the place. So he's like, hey, you know, if I do this or whatever, you'll kiss me, right? So he's like, yeah, I'll give you a big French kiss. And they're all drinking or whatever. So then she goes to kiss him, and then he's like, oh, she's looking at me. I don't care. It just feels so good. And then like just his inner monologue, it's kind of warm. Oh my God, is that her tongue? I think that's her tongue. Wait, her tongue is kind of squishy. And then boom, the next panel, she's vomiting all in his mouth.
Nasty.
And that's basically his first kiss.
Right? That's a
So
it's a memorable first kiss.
Oh
He's never gonna let that one go.
If some shit like that would happen to me, bro.
Oh man,
I would not kiss anybody.
First
ever.
of all, why are you even? This is why you shouldn't be kissing people that are intoxicated.
She was passed out drunk. She just woke up and went to kiss him.
No. That would ruin.
So that's just a fun moment. And then the last one I have here is when him and Aki, so the Katana Devil, and I think it's the Katana Devil, or if it's not him, it's somebody else. There's like a scene where they kill a lot of the public safety people, and they kill them on the bus or on the train.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I was like,
that's when Makima dies. But then you figure out
that she comes back.
Yeah, she comes back.
So they kill these people, and then I'm thinking that they're going to come back to life. Because, you know, like I said, with the Eternity Devil, Denji just like, it was like a loop. So, you know, these are not devils, though. So they kill him for real. And I was like, damn, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, because majority of the people in the public safety are just regular humans.
Right.
And the only powers that they have is either a contract they have made with a devil. But if that contract does not involve them regenerating or reviving, then there's really like Aki. Like Aki he had to make another contract with the future devil.
Right. Oh, you know, yeah. They told him how he was going to die or whatever.
If he still died, it's not like the future devil was going to save him.
Right. So whatever. So they kill one of the girls. They kill like one of their friends. Mm-hmm. So, and it's Aki's homegirl. So whatever. They catch, and I'm just going to, for the sake of it, call him the Katana Devil. They catch him and then they tie him up or whatever. And they're by the train yards and they're kicking him in the nuts. It's like, it's such a bonding moment. He's like, hey man, Aki comes to Denji. And Denji's like, hey, I think this is the guy who killed that girl. And he's like real sad about it or whatever. So they start kicking him in the nuts. They're like, they make a bet. They're like, oh, let's see who can make him scream the loudest. So they're kicking him over and over again. And it's, you know, in the anime, they play like nice music. Like it's like this real nice scene. And then you kind of can hear music when you're reading the manga too. Because they even say like, I wonder if you can hear this in heaven. And it's like, and it's a bonding moment because up until then, Aki and Denji don't get along. Like he saved him when the team turned against him. But for the most part, you know, Aki doesn't really approve of Denji's not methods, but his reasons and motivations. So if you're going to be if you're going to be a devil hunter, it needs to be for the right reasons, not because you want fame or girls or whatever. Yeah. Like you need to do it like because, you know, your fucking family was killed by a devil or you want to protect the world or whatever. So Denji's like, no, I just want a girlfriend, a sandwich, and a nap. You know, right? That's just really a girlfriend and a nap. So, and then
I think it was a sad moment though when Himeno died. Yeah, I think that's the what are you talking about?
That's the girl who died. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that was like Aki's first mentor, and it's funny because Himeno was like, you know, I've seen people come and go all the time, so. There's not to say, like, why become attached to each other if at any moment you can die?
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of hard. That's what I'm saying. She's hard-bodied, but...
Yeah, but she does open up to Aki, and eventually they do become, like, really good friends.
Yeah, no, then it's nice.
Yeah, but when she died, I know Aki took it really hard. And even Denji was like, you know, for a person that I kind of had feelings for, how come I don't feel anything about her death? And he kept, like, questioning, like, is it because my heart is technically a devil?
Oh, maybe.
So, like, I just don't feel emotions. But then I think Makima kind of, like, says, like, well, how do you feel about this or that? Like, if you feel like this, then you do have emotions or something like that. Like, Makima's always there to give him some type of, like, reassurance to Denji or something like that. Like, uplift him back again. But, you know, again, we all know what Makima's true intentions was with Denji.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, talking about like how you were saying like what made the devil or the Chainsaw Man so strong because the other devils feared him, but that's because he had a certain power.
I don't know. So I don't know what it is about the chainsaw either.
No, he had a power.
What power?
It was you don't know?
Tell me.
So the power that he had that if he eats a certain devil, he can erase them.
Right. That's what it is.
So it was a fear of like
of being gone
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember.
But why? You know, how? What is
right? Because what does chainsaw have to do with erasing people's power? But I guess it was just, and I feel like sometimes maybe it was something that was just added to just
maybe you know,
maybe he didn't think about like all the way with this anime or this manga itself. But
I mean, the turn that it takes from arc 1 to 2, it does get a little bit more personal.
Yes, with Denji.
So it could be like him maybe like trying to build it up, or maybe he led us one way. He didn't know how it was going to end. So he, made a sharp left.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really don't know.
But I love the ending though for Arc 1 when it just automatically like Denji becomes this overpowered devil.
Oh, right.
And you're like, well, that turned quickly. Like, and it's funny because you don't even get to see, because you know how every other anime, before they even become overpowered, they have to do like a training, some type. Oh, sorry. You're looking at the camera like it stopped. No. Some type of training in order to like become
like
this
a montage.
A montage of them training, or some type of master that they have to, be under in order to like understand and practice and get stronger and whatever, like to really understand their power. Yeah. And then like Denji was like a flip of a switch.
Well, so he does train, and he doesn't get strong because he trained, but something I forgot to mention, they have like, I forget his name also. It's the guy with like all the scars on his face that trains him in power. There's like, and
but that's the only training montage that I've seen. But this wasn't really like,
I don't even know if it was a montage because I'm going off of the manga, but there's like a scene where he's training them, and he knows that he's a devil and power is a fiend. He freaking stabs him in the face. Oh my God. He's
even like when they met, he was like, come here, let me give you guys a hug.
Oh, he chokes him out.
He just like cracks their necks. And they're like on the ground with like,
I know. And then he pours the blood. And he's like,
just remember that you guys drink blood. You guys you're good to go.
Right. No, he's good. He's good, man.
No, but yeah. But like the ending was cool. Like just Makima like gathering all these fiends and hybrids to like attack Denji to steal his power. And then Denji like all of a sudden like takes half his organ and wraps around his neck like it's a fucking scarf, and now he's like overpowered and stuff like that, just fighting everybody.
I'm not a fan of the look, to be honest.
You didn't like it?
I don't dislike it. I'm just, I don't know. I'm not really.
It was kind of gross in a sense. Kind of gross.
I think maybe he's too buff. I'm not really a fan of like buff like that. Like I like that he's able to jump around. Like I say, he looks like Wolverine. Like Wolverine is a short, stocky, hairy man, and he can, you can pick him up and throw him at a sentinel. Yeah. Like the way Chainsaw Man jumps around. Like, but if he's big like that, I don't know. Like, I'm not a fan of Broly. I do like a slimmer
character.
Yeah, because like we were talking about Goku, how every time he was training, but then he was just getting bigger, but he wasn't getting faster. Yeah. So that's why he wanted to do the Super Saiyan 2, was just so he can increase his speed without sacrificing, or increase his strength without sacrificing speed. Yeah. So I think once he does get too big, I don't know, it gets a little off-putting for me. But
I mean,
overall, it's really, really nice. So, and then as far as like, video games and movies, right now there's no plans for any video games, or there's no video games in development. Bandai Namco, at least doing research for these episodes, if it's not Bandai Namco, there's another production house called Aniplex. Mm-hmm. They did the Demon Slayer game. These are the two that are out doing these games. So the next thing that I'm about to say, so there are rumors about season 2.
Yeah, go for it, man.
So there was a rumor or whatever that there was going to be a season 2 and a possible movie that leaked on Weibo. So Weibo is the Chinese, or it's described as the Chinese version of Twitter. They put some tweet out or whatever that said that there was going to be a movie and a season 2. But the thing that I don't want to give it any validity is because this is a direct quote from the CEO of MAPPA. Okay. So he says financially, Chainsaw Man was a complete success. However, I am not satisfied with whether it has the same impact as JJK, and points to the low sales of DVDs and Blu-rays as to why he thinks that the anime fell short, for like the demand, not even the demand, but the ideal of like the numbers that they wanted with something like this.
Well, like I said, like Chainsaw Man at that time when it was released, it was a very hyped anime. I mean, a lot of people were talking about it, but can it stand next to the big dogs like JJK, like One Piece, like Naruto, Boruto? Like, can it be? And especially MAPPA, like they're probably just want to focus on those big animes that are probably going to bring them more money. Yeah. And I think for them to like do a season 2, they have to invest money just to like reamp it up again and get people back interested into Chainsaw.
But that's where they would have to like release a video game or release a movie
as successful as season 1. You know, I'm not saying season 1 was not successful, and that's, you know, I've also heard rumors that in Japan, a complete success. That in Japan, like a lot of people weren't really into Chainsaw Man like that, as we are here in the Western.
No, Chainsaw Man is big in Japan. That's what I'm saying. So it's big in Japan,
but like you said, they weren't selling DVDs or Blu-rays, which is another way of them making profit. And like you said, at the end of the day, like it's all numbers. Yeah, and you want to get the most out of it. Especially if you're going to invest, like for $1 million, you want at least $2 million back. You know, you want to double your investment. Like you don't want 10%. That you can't make 2 out of that. Yeah. So I mean, if it happens, it happens. I just feel like it's just been such a long time that I feel like if it should have happened, it would have happened. Does that make sense? Because sometimes because you know how we talked about this, I think in the Jinju Ito episode where we were talking about Goblin Slayer. Okay. And how I was saying like, oh, like how good the anime, the first season was. But then it took so long for season 2 that I feel like the hype just died down so much. Even if they were trying to advertise it and, you know, make it hyped again, it didn't hit. And then it gets to the point where you're like, it's been such a long time that you feel like you have to rewatch season 1 just to kind of feel like remember what had happened in order to restart season 2. And some people don't like that. I personally don't like that I have to go back to reference season 1 to remember, you know, what season 2 is all about, or you know what I mean?
But is it like that? Is it a story like that, like an Attack on Titan, or is it something that you can't just pick up? Because they do that all the time with like, so imagine like they're bringing King of the Hill back. You know, people rewatch those episodes, or that'd be like if they brought The Office back, or like if season 1 or the first couple seasons or whatever was strong enough that people are already or have already rewatched it. I think just bringing it out like a year or 2 years later wouldn't be that bad. I just think that with the endless cycle and the endless hunger, like you got to feed the beast of like, there's always new animes coming out. And, always. You know, people only want to watch what's new. They don't really want to go back to an anime that's, you know, 2, 3 years, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old.
I don't know, but sometimes I feel like if they would drop a season 2, it would be more for the fan base that's already there for Chainsaw Man. Yeah. And sometimes it's hard because I feel like when you drop a season 2, it's because you're pleasing that fan base. How big is that fan base?
I think it's pretty big, bro.
That's my question. Like, you know, for JJK, they built a huge fan base. So of course they're going to drop a season 2. Now, maybe for Chainsaw Man, the fan base was decentable. Like you said, it was successful, but not as successful, like hugely successful as JJK.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. And he's comparing it to another anime that they also have the numbers for in the same studio. Mm-hmm. But just like how I was talking about earlier at the top of the episode with the news, he's looking at the wrong thing. He's looking at Blu-ray and DVD sales to judge.
Because maybe that's how they make profit.
That is how they make profit. And that's
because like you said it, in the end of the day, they're using a majority of the money upfront to market these animes so that people can watch. But if we're not watching them through what they would bring, even a royal percentage, you know, like Crunchyroll or wherever platforms they are then presenting these anime. Right. Because a lot of people don't watch it like that. Some people watch it through, you know, third-party websites for free. You know what I mean? Why pay for something that you can just watch for free? And then, but they don't make money off that. Like I don't think there is any royalties from that. No. So then they make their money through like, you know, merchandise, DVD sales, Blu-rays or whatever. So of course they have to base it off that. So what I'm saying is that if Chainsaw Man was successful, but they're basing it off JJK's successfulness. So if Chainsaw Man sold 5 million copies, right, and that 5 million copies is technically considered as a successful anime, but JJK sold double that in their first season. So technically they succeeded or overpassed that successfulness. Then why not just continue with JJK and just drop Chainsaw Man? I mean, there is a base for Chainsaw Man, but I just don't think it's as big. And especially if you're dropping in season 2.
But that's what I'm saying. You're looking at it numbers wise. You're looking at it 5 million.
As a fan, I would love a season 2.
Yeah, that's what you're
As
saying?
a fan, I'm not saying that I don't want a season 2. I would love a season 2 of Chainsaw Man. But also looking at
the benefit of Chainsaw Man is that it is not regular Shonen Jump style story. That it is very artistic and it is very gross. And you know, you have like scenes like that in Naruto and Dragon Ball. But
you're talking as a fan. We're talking about numbers.
I know. And
you're not wearing the white shirt with the tie.
I know.
We got to start thinking like corporate, man. It's all about the numbers.
As soon as this podcast is done, I'm taking this damn tie off.
I do hear you as like a fan service. Yes, I would love a season 2. I think it would be great. I was expecting to be a season 2, and I was surprised that season 2 never came. And it's still up in the air. It's not like anything is confirmed yet. You know what I mean? But I can't see like if the numbers just didn't hit right, like the way it was supposed to.
It just bothers me that they don't believe in their own product. Like, I know they didn't write Chainsaw Man, but.
Well, and I mean, I can't wait till we get to that episode of studios, because I know there's a lot that goes into like, what studio, because that was like my number one question. Like, what studio gets what anime, or how did they decide like this is the studio that's going to make the animation for this manga? I'm
bigging this episode up for season 2. Like, this is going to be a big episode for us, bigger than our Toonami episode, bigger than the villains episode. I think it's going to be a real good episode.
Very informational, for the people that just even have the same questions as like we do.
Yeah.
We're here we want to answer those questions, because I'm definitely like very curious about that.
Yeah, no.
But still, like, because anime, there's more manga animation than there is actual like the animation part of it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But then it's like, when do they choose which manga to turn into an animation? Or like what story? Like, do they present it? Or they're like, oh, well, this story sounds good. Like, you know what I mean? Like the one that you like, Wild Strawberry. Would they make that into animation? Do you think it's worth being turned into animation?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think that's always the plan.
And what studio would do it? Do you have a peripheral studio that might? Do you think would do that justice? You know what I mean? Like questions like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So if there is a season 2 for the fans, I think we all want it. I mean, I definitely want it. I know Xavier probably doesn't want it because he doesn't even like the way it looks.
Just keep releasing the manga.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
But for like me, I would definitely want a season 2. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, at this point, like I don't see it happening, just because there's no even confirmation on it. It's just everything is just like rumors at this point.
And the rumors for season 2 came out like a couple of months ago, and MAPPA, it's definitely been publicized as far as like rumors. They haven't said anything. They haven't confirmed or denied it.
Yeah.
So
it is what it is. But if you guys are true Chainsaw Man fans, definitely read the manga.
Definitely read the manga.
But yeah, that's pretty much. Anything else you want to say about Chainsaw Man before we sign out of this world?
Well, until we move to the next segment of the show, bro.
Well, the next segment, but we're signing out of the Chainsaw universe.
Oh, right.
No. Retreating back. Shutting off. No, you good?
I'm good.
All right, man. Then we're good. So let's move on to the next segment, man. Where we're reading, watching, and playing. Xavier, young Morgan Freeman, please let the world know what you're reading, watching, and playing.
So reading, watching, and playing. So reading, same shit, man. Like I try to read like different things. I am reading a lot, but so I'm reading Chainsaw Man, reading The Wild Strawberries, reading Dr. Stone, and reading One Piece. I will admit, I'm slowing down on the One Piece.
Nah, man, that's not the time to slow down.
I know.
It's not this time, so man. We're not gonna get to the One Piece episode till like season 7 of the podcast.
so we did Attack on Titan, and we did that because it just had ended. So we're doing Chainsaw Man randomly, just because you and I both really like Chainsaw Man. I think I'm gonna be able to get caught up before it ends, because this is the last arc, right?
Yes, actually, it's done.
One Piece.
Wano is done.
Wano's done, but the next arc is coming up. But it's the last arc, I think.
For what?
For One Piece.
Is it?
I think so.
Is that what you heard?
That's what I heard.
I don't think so.
No,
because they still haven't found the One Piece.
No, I know. So
I don't think it's the end, man. No, I don't
but
think it's the last arc. But it is
gonna end.
Eventually, the anime is gonna end. I just don't know when.
Yeah,
but I don't personally think this is gonna be the last arc. No. I could be wrong. I mean, and something I would have to like search online and see if that's what it is, but I don't think so.
No, I mean we'll check it out. Either way, I think I'm gonna get finished with enough time for us to do an episode on it. Like you were talking about, we might do another Chainsaw episode next season or 2 seasons from now. But
yeah, just to like wrap it up, because we didn't talk about like the second part of the arc,
right? Or same thing like when we did our Dragon Ball or other Demon Slayer episode. So Full Metal is done, so we won't have to touch that again unless something else comes up. But with One Piece, I don't want to hit it too many times. So what we can do,
actually talking about AOT.
Tell me.
we might have to bring that one back up because there is a lot. Well, there isn't. It's already confirmed. There's already pages of the last alternative ending.
Oh, for Brotherhood?
No, AOT. Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan. Right.
There is an alternate ending. They already written like half the book.
Yeah, you told me. Yeah. Is your homeboy Captain Levi in it?
I think so. This it was a whole switch up because people were so unimpressed and they was not satisfied with this ending, and the ending on the animation was slightly different from the manga.
Okay,
so they changed it just a little bit of just mostly it seems like it was a change in the conversation between Armin and Eren.
Okay.
Just like that conversation they had in that dream world where they were trying to both explain to each other why they were doing what they did and whatever.
Right.
I think in the manga, it was more Armin just being like, Eren, you suck. Like, you shouldn't have done that, blah, blah, blah. And then in the animation, it was like Eren, it was more like Armin just like both trying to carry that weight on both, on his shoulders too. Like I was responsible for this too.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So I think that was like the difference between both the manga and the animation. But like I said, people were not satisfied with the ending and they felt like it could have been done better. So I think the author is rewriting an alternative ending and maybe trying to, because I know JP was saying that there was like holes towards the ending.
He heard that there were holes.
Well, I guess there was some type of holes, so they're trying to fill in with the alternative ending. So you either like the manga ending, you like the first animation ending, or you're gonna like the alternative ending. But I think that's just a way to satisfy the fan. Yeah. And Mappa is going to be doing the animation for that alternative ending.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well,
sometime next year. So, but
nice.
the actual chapters are out already. So if you want to read it, you definitely could. So I know we're definitely going to cover that.
Oh, are we? Okay.
Yeah. So technically, I know you were saying like how Full Metal Alchemist is done. We're not going to be doing any future episodes on Full Metal Alchemist.
But I did say,
and we did say about like AOT, like, well, that is done. So we're not going to be talking about, but them like, damn, bro, I actually forgot to tell you there is an alternative ending. So we're probably going to be talking about it again.
That's fine. I don't mind.
All right.
So then so I'm just playing the Demon Souls game. That's the game that we're trying to stream. So the stream schedule's up on there. I was able to record it, so I'm going to chop it. It was like 2 hours plus. So I'm definitely going to have to chop it. It's going to be our first time doing something like that. So playing that for the stream. And then we did get Street Fighter 6.
Yes.
So it's a game I played before, but
I really want to get the Mortal Kombat 1 though, man.
I know. We just don't have
I want to play as
the new
Omni-Man.
system. Yeah, I mean, I love Mortal Kombat.
DLC, man. That Omni-Man and the
Homelander.
guy Homelander from
The Boys.
The Boys.
I think it's gonna be good, man. So we're definitely gonna play those games. Fighting games might come out before even like the Demon Souls because it's gonna take a lot more to chew through. But these fighting games,
they're coming.
Street Fighter 6. So this is my first time being able to play with Dawson, like the Indian guy, the guy who can stretch. I always try to play with him in every game, and I can never like get him down. But with this new one, I don't know what it is. Like I got the zoning right. So I'm super looking forward to playing this game.
Yeah,
I've already been playing to practice, but I want to get good because I am really good at fighting games.
No, but just look forward to our gaming channel coming out soon. So
for sure, and we are gonna stick with Twitch. That's the one that we're gonna go with. Like I know there's been like some talk about it. It's not that good compared to like YouTube or these other ones, but
yeah,
at least for right now, that's a good entry level streaming schedule that we're gonna try to be on top of. And the last thing that I've been watching. For family movie night, we watched Home Alone off of your recommendation. So I hadn't seen it before. I hadn't seen any of them. And even my son saw it. He's like, oh, now you're cultured. I'm like, shut up. You're 13.
You've never seen Home Alone?
Whatever.
That's crazy, man. Where have you been living?
I've been living right here. I've been living in Vice City.
Oh, Lordy, man.
So I saw it and it is really nice. So I should have seen it a while ago. But I remember I was laughing out loud at that movie.
Yeah, man. This is like one of those holiday movies. It's like a must-give watch. They play it all the time. It's like a Mariah Carey kind of thing. Like,
oh, right. I don't know. It's just one of those movies that just fell under my radar. Like I knew of it. Like I get it. He's home alone, but like, I didn't really know.
It's the title, bro.
Yeah, but I didn't know if it was like really that good or not.
No, it's good. I like it.
No,
man.
It is. So we're gonna watch the second one. I think not this Sunday, but the next Sunday.
There's 3 or 2.
There's 3. So I heard the third one isn't that good. We might watch it, but
just to finish all 3 of them.
Just to finish all 3. I heard that he's not even in the third one. Like it's a different Home Alone
person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Then skip it.
I haven't seen it, but and then the last thing I'm watching is Invincible. So
Are you still on? You started season 2, or you're still on season 1?
no, season 2. I'm starting season 2. I love that show. So we were talking about The Boys earlier with Gen V, but we watch a lot of media for this podcast, like the shows and the movies and things like that, and it just felt so good to watch this and know that I was going to talk about it here, but I just love that show. That show makes me like really happy.
It goes back to like the thing of like villains, heroes turning into villains.
But that's not why I like it. I just like it because it's well written and it's just so funny and fun. Like they did. So, if you've ever seen Invincible, each episode, the way that they introduce the title is they'll say, oh, I'm invincible, but he won't say invincible.
No, yeah, they'll just start the title, yeah.
So at least for season 2,
they'll be like, is he really invincible?
Right. So for the first episode of season 2, they say it a couple times, and I'm like, damn, why haven't they dropped the title intro? So not until the very end, after the credits, then he's like, I need to kill, boom, invincible. And I was like, damn, jumped into the second episode right then and there. So then they do it again, and then maybe I think it's the third episode.
It's like a wordplay.
Alan the alien. Yeah. So you think that he's gonna say invincible, but then he says Alan. To be able to beat these Viltrumites, you need to be Alan, the alien. And it's voiced by Seth Rogen. And I don't know, man. It's just so fun and funny, and like.
It's unique, man. I like it.
There's like a scene with the narrator, and I was just like, damn, I love this show. Like, it was making me so happy. And I love watching like good stuff as much as I like watching bad stuff, but I was watching just me and
just good stories, man, and just well written out.
And I love superheroes.
I do.
So
Invincible, the Boys, like just anything like that. It's just like when the story is good, man. It's captivating.
It's gross too. It's like they fuck up the alien, his eyeballs out of his head. Oh my god.
No, man. In comic books, if you read the comic books, it gets way more graphic. There's more to it. The story definitely diverts from the actual.
I don't mind that. Like, I don't care about
animation,
but I'm treating Invincible like an anime.
No, it's good.
I'm just not gonna read the manga. I'm just gonna watch the anime. Yeah. So same thing. You're not gonna
read the comics?
Nah, I don't need to.
You don't really have to. It's a whole different story, but it's just as good. You're not gonna be disappointed with either. Being honest.
So what about you, bro? What you reading? What you watching? What you playing?
What I'm reading, watching, and playing. Let's see. Reading. I just got done finishing Kaiju number 8, nice. The last chapter or the last volume that came out. So I just got done reading that. I'm gonna bring it in. I thought you were reading it. Did you stop?
I was. I did stop, to be honest, but not because I didn't like it or nothing. I just I'm reading 4 things. So what happens sometimes is that
you like rotate a couple things in, rotate a couple things out, just so like I
have 5 episodes of Chainsaw Man. I got to catch up, or
No, I hear you, man. So I just got done reading that. Besides that, not much with the reading. Playing, again, not much. I just haven't had time to play, but I'm definitely want to pick up either Street Fighters just so I can get some hours in, so that when we do the live streaming or whatever, I'm not getting my ass whooped from left to right. And then I'm looking out here like, damn, this nigga, he don't know what he's doing. He's just smashing buttons.
Even if you practice for 100 hours a day, you'll still get your ass whooped. Bro.
Nah, man. You see, I got to put the hours in, man, so I can talk all the shit. And then...
I'll kill you, bro. I'll kill you.
And then watching, let me see. I started to watch this new anime, but I'm not liking it. It's called something Undead. I'm not sure what it's called. It's like Undead something. Undead Unlucky.
Okay.
Undead Unlucky. I think that's what it's called. Maybe some of you guys might have heard of it. I've seen a couple of episodes, but so basically it's like these humans that have like special powers. So like one of the main characters is a female, and her like power is unluck. So the more she feels for you, or like the more she has a certain connection towards you, if she touches you, you become unlucky. So like something will happen to you, and then
will you die?
Yes, like It could be like that for something unlucky, like a tree, something will fall on you or whatever.
You're eating a hot dog and there's a mustard on your shirt.
Yeah, if she doesn't like have any, like, I think like the less she has an emotional connection to you, you still get something unlucky, but it's not as bad. But if she feels something for you, it could literally mean death.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then there's this guy, which is the other main character, and his power is basically he's undead. No matter what you do to him, he cannot die. He would just continually revive himself or regenerate his body. So like if you cut off his head, he would just regenerate his body again. And then he just learns, he has lived for like thousands and thousands of years. So he's gotten to the point where he's just like bored as hell with life. He's like Kaido, where from One Piece, where he's just like trying to commit suicide because he's just so powerful and he just can't find anybody to end his life. It's kind of like that. Like he just finding something to end his life. So when he finds this girl, he thinks that if he makes her fall in love with him, when he touches him or touches her, because of that connection being so powerful, he'll be unlucky and finally die. So that's his thought. So at first, a couple episodes was good. Then they got introducing to like organizations that are chasing after them, and then after other nominees. I don't know. It just got a little crazy, and I just lost interest.
So you didn't like it because it steps away from the love story?
Like not the love story, but just like where it was first coming from. Like, okay, like, you know, he like I was liking it at first just because like I get it, you know, it's all right, you know, it's it looks good, but then after that it just kind of lost me along the way, and I was just like, I don't think I would be revisiting this anime anymore.
Okay.
Same thing for like the other anime that I was talking about, the one with the vending machine.
Right. No, you said you finished it though.
I finished that one.
So you're not watching season 2, bro?
Nah, I don't see a reason to watch the season 2, man. No? So there's certain animes that you're just like, and again, it falls back to like, why was these animes chosen to be made into animations? It wasn't even that good. But that's just me, man. That's just me. Besides that, like I said, I've been watching Invisible. I've been watching, what else is called? JJK, for sure. Fucking fanatic at this point. And One Piece. You know, they just finished the last episode where they finally leave the Wano Island. Right. And they're on pursuit for the next step, I guess, or the next way of finding the One Piece. But yeah, but in the manga, it seems very promising, this new arc.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. But besides that, man, that's pretty much it. I wish my life was more eventful.
No, man, what do you mean? It's good stuff, bro.
Just anime related stuff, you know, like nothing crazy.
All right, man. Well, that's the show. That is the show. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. Definitely write reviews, because we haven't seen any new reviews lately, and we definitely. I'll even say if you leave some comments on the YouTubes, wow, we'll read that out.
Yeah, like comments, reviews. Definitely the complimentary sandwich. Don't forget. Follow us on TikTok. We always making shorts. Where you can get little previews of our episodes. But for sure, we're definitely on Instagram. I feel like that's our main platform of choice when it comes to like just updating you guys with anything that's going on with the podcast or the anime community. Yeah. So definitely follow us on Instagram. We're always posting about something that might be happening, or some rumors, or anything that's happening with us in the podcast. So definitely follow. And remember that you can definitely listen to our podcast in almost every platform, including Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and of course now on YouTube podcasts.
And Google
Podcasts. So at this point, there's no platform you guys cannot hear us from. So there is no excuses.
Right. We're out there.
And definitely share and let people know about us, man. Spread the word. Let them know about the norm. Become a normie. You know, we got a lot of things at work. You know, we want to start doing, what is it called? Merch again.
Yeah.
So that's coming soon. We're working on some stuff, you know, bit by bit. But definitely help us out with the numbers. We're about to reach 10K plays for our podcast. We're sitting at like 9,500 and something plays. So we're close to that 10K mark, which is pretty exciting. You know, and then one day that 10K will turn into 100K. 100K will turn into 500,000. And the next thing you know, we're at 1 million plays. So step by step, right?
Yep. Step by step. Just got to keep trucking along, bro.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoy Chainsaw Man as much as we do. Like I said, follow us, listen to us, write us anything you want to write. You know, let us know how you guys are doing. We'd love to hear from you guys. And like we say at the end of every episode,
tune in next time for scenes from the next episode of the Hyperbolic Podcast, where Lewis and X kick it with the best anime studio out there, Studio Ghibli.
Deuces. Good night.